Hello and welcome back to another video. I am so glad you're here. On this channel, I talk about news, controversies, and drama on the bookish side of the internet, and I certainly hope you'll stick around. So there has recently been a lot of suspicion of AI usage in the book community, and if falsely accused, authors and artists can suffer irreparable damages to their career. So I definitely like to tread lightly and say that this entire video is alleged as far as any AI claims, observations and opinions based on those observations. There are other things I'm going to say that do have evidence to back them up about what I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to definitively call out AI usage because I'm not 100% sure. This is just me sharing suspicions, and it isn't about an individual, it is about a company. So it's, yet another book box not living up to what they've promised. And the company in question claims to be very vehemently opposed to AI usage of any kind. I don't know why book boxes and book signings just seem to be catnip for bad behavior by companies. Hopefully my videos can help out with keeping folks from, spending their money on garbage. That is what I'm here for. And I do want to mention that I'm not accusing this company of being scammy, but of having terrible quality of products and customer service. So, all that said, Acrylipics is a Michigan-based company founded by Marissa Hiltz, but it operates under the parent company Hiltz Printing Innovations, which was founded in 1985 by Marissa's father. They have an Etsy shop where they do have overall really good ratings, but word has been starting to get around about the poor quality of books, lack of response from customer service, and as mentioned, a lot of folks are suspecting AI usage. We will get to the AI stuff later, but first let's start off with the quality issues. This was posted in the Fairy Loot subreddit, which is kind of a place where people seem to talk about all kinds of different book boxes, not solely Fairy Loot. So this is what someone said. Acrylipics and frustration. I know this isn't a group for this, but I don't have many books friends, let alone ones who order expensive special editions, so I thought I'd come to you guys. I ordered the new Throne of Glass Legacy Edition and it arrived today. It was my first big book acquirement, my first massive set of special editions, and I'm pretty upset. There's a lot of flaws, damages, and I even found that chapters 15 through 18 are missing in Empire of Storms, already emailed waiting on a response. I guess I just wanted to see if anyone else has had this happen to any books bought from them. It's just upsetting that I spent a hefty chunk of change and this is how they come. I don't know if it helps, but I rebind books as a side hobby, so seeing a company produce such sloppy quality isn't fun. Thanks, everyone. So this person says, yikes, I've ordered from Acrylipics before but didn't even open the book or check. I need to get better at it after seeing this. That's not a cheap set either. Post an update when they respond. And so then the person added some photos of this book, and you can see right here that the book goes from the first page, I guess, of chapter 15 to the first page of chapter 19. So I'm fairly certain based on this that that is not the whole of chapter 15, and even if it was, we are still missing 3 other chapters. Here you can see how the, the painting on the edge is just kind of uneven. There's some splotchiness, and the book was a little bit damaged up at the top. Additionally, usually these have interesting, on the actual cover, but this one I guess does not. So, setting aside the fact that 4 entire chapters are missing, the print job's uneven, the book is dented in the edges, and again, I'm sure some of you are going to think that this isn't much damage and it shouldn't be complained about, but the cheapest set of these books listed on the website is $365. So, yeah, the quality should be there without question. And this Reddit post was made 4 months ago, so the prices may have been different then. Just so we're being 100% clear, I'm going off what is listed here. However, it does appear to be a sale price down from $399.95. As far as I know, they just purchase regular hardbacks, then add sprayed edges and new dust jackets, which would explain the lack of design on the actual book itself. Unsure the method they used to source the books. If this was a one-off issue with the book missing chapters, they should definitely send a replacement in my opinion. But if the entire print run from the publisher is missing those chapters, I'm not even sure how they would handle it since they modified them. I hope they respond to you. Terrible, I had no idea they just redid existing books. I'll have to check at them again tomorrow. I only got through checking over HOF, which is one of the books, and I don't know the name of it, but it's one of the Throne of Glass books. I ordered the standard set from them back in January. It came with really faded edges, just so bad. There was ink bleeding on some of the pages, like they didn't press them tight enough when binding. Never got a response and haven't purchased from them since. Well, there goes my hope for justice for sloppy binding. Hopefully, they'll at least handle the misprint. Maybe I have doubts. I bought the original Throne of Glass set, and the quality was astoundingly bad considering how much they cost. Customer service basically told me to get bent and wouldn't even accept a return or offer a replacement, so I disputed it with my credit card. Yep, already prepped to handle that with my bank if that's how it's going to go. The set was supposed to be a self-princess anyway. I don't know what that means. Or if it's a typo. I'm hoping that they at least replace the misprinted EOS, which is an abbreviation for another one of the books. Surely they will replace the misprinted book, but I had a book that literally had someone's handprint on the end papers and they wouldn't replace it. Every single book in my set had something wrong with it. So disappointing. If they won't replace a book that's missing quite literally 4 chapters, I'm gonna raise hell. I should have come to Reddit first when I was looking into purchasing the set. Everywhere else they have outstanding reviews. And this is 100% true. If I wasn't like tipped off about this company, there's no way I would have come across it and thought there was like anything notable about them. On Etsy, they have 5 stars with 2,500 reviews, which is kind of insane. Their Google reviews are also very high. And I don't think it's possible to alter reviews, and I'm not accusing them of doing this, but it seems like maybe they like incentivize people to give good reviews. Or maybe I'm full of shit and everything that they do is amazing and we're only seeing these bad things, but all I'm saying is it's crazy to see that many glowing reviews alongside the pages of complaints on Reddit. So they did a special edition of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, a book that even a non-fantasy reader like myself is very familiar with. It has a pretty iconic cover, and while I've not read it or owned it, I've seen many booktubers and bookstagrammers with special editions, and they all seem to kind of have the same simple color palette of black, red, and white. You know what you're looking at when you see it. You know, it's kind of like one of those, oh, you could cover up the title and be like, that might be The Night Circus. So it just kind of seems like it fits the vibe. So when Acrylipics released their edition, people had, you know, opinions, some of them unfavorable. So it's very dark looking. It doesn't necessarily, it looks more like a comic book-ish to me than, you know, like this kind of mystical, whimsical type book. A lot of people were not thrilled with this writing here, like you can barely read it. And also with the author's name here at the bottom, it's hard to read. These were the edges, and there's like, you know, a dragon and like a court jester. Personally, I was reminded of the Disney version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It might be because of just the color scheme and then the like court jester, but I don't know. But here's someone's opinion who actually has read it and so might, you know, have more insight than I do. I think it's sacrilege to have any colors other than black, white, and red on any special edition of this book. Feels like they haven't even read the book because none of the art looks like anything that happens or fits the vibe of this book at all. I like it, low-key wondering if they're licensed because Erin Morgenstern's publisher doesn't really let special editions be too different than the standard version. Another thing, like, you know, clearly the publisher has a vision for this book and like really tries to stick to it, which is why they, you know, keep to the red, white, and black thing. This novel gave me a whimsical, elegant magic feel. This doesn't. Still mad at them for their heavy AI use, which they have not acknowledged. It's been a while since I did a reread. When was there a dragon in the book? I thought that was funny because I again, haven't read it, but I had never heard anyone speak of a dragon. So a point I will expand on in a moment that I think is touched on here, you know, is just the sheer quantity of book boxes these days. Much like the book convention and signing situation, are people just like seeing how successful special edition book boxes can be and then think it's like a get-rich-quick scheme? In all fairness, Acrylipics has been around for a while now, so I don't think that like the company was thoughtlessly founded to be a cash grab in any way, but I think that maybe they have like lost the plot somewhere, trying to keep up with the likes of, you know, the big boys, Illumicrate, Fairy Loot, Owlcrate, just to, you know, name a few. The edges are really nice looking as far as the magic circles on is concerned, though the Jester Clown one is not good in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense with the story and aesthetic. And the cover itself looks decent from a visual design standpoint, but I personally find the typography terrible across the board. The color is barely readable, particularly the string of text above the title. The cursive font choice is really flat and looks tacked on when the rest of the tent and visual designs have clear depth to them via the drop shadows and shading, and Erin Morgenstern's name is, again, barely legible because of the color and is so small compared to the size of the cover and the rest of the book. I like the art direction and ideas with this, but the overall special edition design is being hard carried by the illustration. I'm also baffled by whatever the red ribbon thing is supposed to be. I'll put it back up here for a quick second. It looks just thrown on and isn't cohesive, on top of not having anything to do with the story's circus powers or motifs, not to mention the clock on the tent. The clock should be the iconic grandfather clock, not a random one thrown on top. Not a fan, but glad to see more editions of this fabulous book. As we talked about a little bit in one of the Audra winner videos, and then several artists confirmed afterwards in my comments, it's not customary for artists to read the entire book before designing a cover for it. However, it's the responsibility of the person commissioning the art they want to be extremely clear on what they're asking for. And I mean, it kind of seems like in this case, no one involved read the book, or maybe they just have bad taste in covers, who knows? Something that I was unaware of when I began research for this video is that the actual subscription part of the brand is relatively new, with the first one just being shipped in January. But right off the bat, it doesn't seem to be going super well for them in just those few months. So here is a TikTok from someone who had ordered it and what they got.
Okay guys, I know I look a mess, but I had to pop on here and tell y'all about a subscription box that I received yesterday. It is from Acrylipics. So about 2 months ago, Acrylipics decided they were going to start doing a subscription box. And all I keep seeing is rants and raves. Well, you ain't going to find that here. So let's start with, first of all, it was a book-only box. And with tax and shipping, it was $53. So it is a much higher subscription box than, say, Fairy Loot book only, Owlcrate book only, Bookish box. I mean, so you expect to get your money's worth. You get some beautiful books in the other ones. So, comes in the mail. You get a gigantic, let's just say it's gigantic box. It's beautiful, but it's huge. And you keep in mind, it's for just one book. It is made really well. You know, it's packaged nicely. They have to stick a ton of bubble wrap underneath here because it's just for a book. Just for a book. So the book that was done is Castle of Dusk and Shadows. On the outside, looks beautiful. Got sprayed edges. And what I'm seeing in a lot of videos is they're showing you this, and then they're going to take the book out of the cover, and they're showing you the cover. It has a printed cover on it, which is all great. What they're not showing is absolutely nothing inside. White end pages. White. And if you can look really closely, the binding is coming undone. Other side. Nothing. Not an end page. It is not signed. Also, you get this piece of cardboard with a digital signature instead of the book being signed. And the inside of the dust jacket, nothing. Nothing. For the price of it, I definitely expected it to be a lot more and a lot better. You can even look at the original book, and they basically just changed the body position and the color scheme on the book. So there really was no design to it. And for comparison, here's Fairy Loot. This is, I want to say $38 for the book. It is also sprayed. You get beautiful end papers. You get a reversible dust jacket. You get a nice foiled book. And it is owl crate, very similar. You get, this one doesn't have a reversible dust jacket, but I'll show you why. It's because it is a transparent dust jacket. You have a nice little end page, and it is also signed. So, do I think that the Acrylipics subscription box is worth it? 1000% no. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, because the binding was messed up, I am returning it for a refund and will be canceling my subscription. So, if we're going to show stuff, let's show everything. Let's not just show the pretty, let's show the ugly too. Just my thoughts.
So yeah, it's pretty wild to spend that much on a book and then this is what you get for your money, especially when there is so much competition out there. I mean, I just said it, like everyone and their mom has a book box subscription now. You gotta stand out. And also, to no one's surprise, another book box is having trouble getting books shipped out in a timely manner.
Has anyone received the Acrylipics July box? Because today is the last day of July and I haven't received my box and I was charged in June. I am so mad about the subscription that I don't even know what to say, because I was charged for the second box before I even received my first box, which was a dud. And the second box hasn't even come yet. And I'm not going to be charged for the third box because I canceled. But I'm so annoyed with how the subscription box and the delivery of the books is being taken care of by this company, because it costs a lot of money. I don't care if you don't think $50 is a lot of money, but $50 for one book is a lot of money for a subscription, in my opinion. So where are these subscription boxes? Why aren't they coming within the month? Like, I got my June book in July, and my July book I'm going to be getting in August. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't recommend this subscription.
It's a tale as old as time, am I right? So this was an email sent on September 8th. Important sub-box pricing update. As you know, we launched our subscription book box a few months ago, and we've already made some necessary improvements, especially in the quality of the books. However, we vow to never stop improving. We've slashed prices on our sub boxes. I hate making fun of people's like grammar and stuff, because we can all make typos, but this is a professional email sent by a company. Anyways. So they made the book-only sub-box go down from $39 a month to $29.95 a month, and then the book experience box go from $45 a month to $39.95 a month. It says, important, the price change only applies to the October 2025 sub-box and all future sub-boxes. Again, I'm sorry to be a bitch, but like, it drives me insane when anyone that's like this involved in like the book community, like they can't proofread. Spell check, I mean, really. This just, it just, I don't like it. And it reads really weird. It just doesn't scream professionalism, which I understand is a personal opinion, but that's what I do on my channel. So, along with this posted in subreddit, Acrylipics lowered prices. Acrylipics just lowered their prices. The email says this only applies to October 2025 sub-box and all future boxes. Their sales must be doing horrible. I was so excited for this box, only to be extremely disappointed with the book and quality. Are you giving them a try? Now for them to start doing more popular titles and stop using AI, and they'd be golden. I've seen $5 resale copies with no bites for their previous months. The market is just so oversaturated with subscription boxes, especially from companies that focus on highly anticipated / popular releases / books. I'm worried that people just aren't that interested in their books. Wow, I'm newish to collecting pretty books, and when I say their first sub box was absolutely horrible, I mean it was bad. And at $50 for just a book only, it was not worth it. but I'm tempted to resubscribe since they seem to be trying, but I have so many subs already. Unless I'm mistaken, that $50 is including shipping, because otherwise none of this makes sense based on what they sent. But I know that they've been getting a lot of comments on their Instagrams and on their TikToks and all of that about how expensive the shipping is, and just like people aren't ordering because of how expensive the shipping is. When they first announced their subscription, my first thought was, who asked for this? None of their books have ever really been in high demand. All their sub books so far have been listed for way below cost resale, and they still don't sell. Even at that price, count me out. Absolutely nothing I've seen from them so far makes me think it's a good use of my money. They had an opportunity with a brand new box to do something super cool with it and make it stand out from all the other options out there, since they had an established name and fan base. What they needed to do was charge a lower amount at the outset to get more people willing to take a chance on them, then deliver a quality product that would generate buzz, more interest, and demand for the subscription. Instead, they thought their established business entitled them to charge a ridiculous price for a shoddy product and titles no one was interested in. Anyone can see it's been a giant fail. Yes, their moldy-looking 3D edges and use of AI lost me as a customer. We will get to both of those subjects too, don't you worry. So they have two box options, a book-only option as well as an experience option. It says, Option 1, book-only box. This option comes with a hardcover special edition book featuring 3-sided digitally printed pages, foiled soft touch laminated dust jacket, and depending on the book, it'll either have a hardcover design or page overlays. Option 2, experience box. You'll get everything in option 1 plus an experience toolkit to engage your senses as you read. In each box, you'll get a variety of goodies to engage your 5 senses so you can experience the box's world in a magical way. I feel like this needed a proofreader. While the contents change, our commitment to creating a fully immersive 5 sensory experience remains the same. Prepare to be transported to new worlds with every box. Past boxes have featured delights like scented candles, themed notepads, incense sticks with holders, highlighters, glasses, and refreshing mocktail recipes, bath bombs, lotions, to name just a few. Our subscription boxes are filled with delightful surprises, including items similar to these and other unique treasures. I don't know why they're saying past boxes, because there's not been very many, but anyways. This seems like it could have been cool if it was done well, but people were quite underwhelmed, and so this is what was included in the first ever experience box. We saw it a little before, but here is like a breakdown, I guess. We've got the book, of course, some incense, a stemless wine glass with like a little recipe card, a notepad, some like acrylic printed thing, maybe a bookmark. I'm not 100% on that. And the greatest of all, that literally made me laugh out loud, a highlighter. Or should I say technically 5 highlighters, because you know, all of the colors. I was doing this research for this video when I was in public, and I was stifling my laughter about this dumbass highlighter. I don't know why. It looks so cheap, and I know people that use highlighters to annotate their books, but like, oh my gosh, I was just like, did they go just down to Staples and like ordered purchased a bunch of these like little star highlighters for like back to school? Like I don't know why that one really got me. And this person thought so too. So I like you, Peppy Moon. That highlighter is pretty funny to me. It's like what you got at corporate trade shows for free. I'll be honest, I think this sub is incredibly unnecessary. You have to go big or go home if you're going to compete with the current well-established book subs. I got mine today and I was underwhelmed. That is it. The only reason I didn't get it was because the shipping to the UK nearly cost as much as the sub itself. Are you happy with it? From what I can see, it appears underwhelming. What items did you get for the senses? Definitely underwhelming. I'm in Canada, so I had to pay shipping plus import fees, so that sucked. But the 5 senses thing, like the incense was so potent I couldn't stand the smell of it, and it smelled incredibly fake. The sight? Overall not there. Taste? Okay, cool. I got a glass and instructions for a drink, but otherwise not it really. Touch? The paper it came in? I don't know what it was, and same for the hearing. Overall very underwhelming. Yeah, we have a few senses that it seems like were maybe missed. Oh my, I am so sorry, that sounds really disappointing. I feel like the touch didn't really count there. The quality of the book was pretty shocking, to be honest. I've seen so many issues: broken binding, gloss peeling, the dust jacket being too big, ink smudges in the end papers. There's no way there was any quality control before they sent them out, and it's biting them in the ass hard. Is it just me, or is it like blurry? Just overall, didn't seem like there was much interest to begin with, and after seeing the quality, people like are not signing up in droves. Personally, I'm interested to see how long the subscription box lasts. It just feels like it was a bit thrown together, and customers definitely noticed. So after the first box, they said that they were going to make some changes. They posted this on their Instagram. Important sub box update. We wanted to give you a quick glance at our July 2025 sub box book, Broken Banners by author Kay Godin. We were glad so many people liked our inaugural June 2025 sub box, but we realized we had a lot to improve on. We decided to switch to a new book supplier, and we were extremely impressed with the results. We now provide stunning hardcovers featuring unique designs and foiled accents, designed end papers showcasing popular quotes from the book, expanded size, bigger books with double the pages for an immersive reading experience, enhanced quality, all around better quality and binding. Our commitment to excellence means our boxes are always improving. Secure your subscription today at acrylipics.com. And so that was on August 6th. And the comments on this show this was the first thing that some of their customers saw regarding what the monthly pick book was. Spoiler warnings would be appreciated since so many people haven't received their box. I was going to say the same thing. I haven't received mine, but I'm stoked this is how it looks. I know some like to be surprised by opening the package, but they're still ironing the kinks out. There's always one. Mine finally shipped today, but that doesn't negate the fact that a spoiler warning would have been nice. I purposely avoid hints for sub boxes, and this ruined it. Okay, so I wasn't the only one who was disappointed at the last one. I actually paused my subscription because of it. This person says, same, I paused until January. I may be reassessing this choice now. Okay, see, if there had been previews of the books before the renewal, I would have been down to keep the sub. So, you know, it seems to be a personal preference thing as to whether people like to have the book title spoiled or not. But I wasn't sure if this was like normally how it works, to have like no idea what you're getting before being charged. I did look at some other book boxes, and it appears that at least the ones I looked at, generally they seem to announce at least a theme before it's too late to skip that month. So here on Owlcrate, you can see that for October, it says a compendium of curiosities. And so, you know, it's currently September still. And then Fairy Loot, it says that their subscriptions have their own monthly themes, which will give you an idea of what to expect in the box. The theme is usually revealed in the month before the month in which the box renews. E.g., the November box would reveal the theme in October. And Illumicrates pretty much says exactly the same thing. Again, that might not be something everyone cares about, but it does seem customary to at least let people know like the theme and give hints before they have to decide whether or not to skip. And I know that's kind of like the opposite of what that woman was complaining about. She was like, I don't want to know. But I mean, either way, it's not helping anybody. So we already heard about some people who hadn't received their boxes in a timely manner, but that's nothing new. This is my speculation only. I think they saw how many successful book boxes are out there, and then the fact that they already have an established fan base, that they thought this would just be kind of an easy thing to add on. It seems like after the first box, they really kind of just lost interest in doing it, and they're putting very few resources into the project. So the next couple screenshots, I took all of these on September 20th, so it just says how recent they are based on that, just so you know it's not going to have dates, but it was September 20th when I took them. 1 week ago, hey, you know the sub boxes, are they surprises, or do you have some spoiler themes? Any past boxes I can see? Thanks. Any hints for the sub box for September? I'm gonna probably cancel if we don't start getting some. Hi, do you guys think you'll be offering hints for the subscription boxes? I'm a little on the fence about getting it without having an idea of what it might be. And all of these are commented on this post about the night circus, so nothing to do with the box because they don't make posts about it because it's like an afterthought for them, it seems. Can we please get something other than a flash image on the website regarding subscriptions, emojis, hints, clues, anything on any social media platform as promised in your email back in July? Because there has been nothing since the first hint post back in June for the first subscription box. It definitely seems like they just don't care about it anymore because it didn't like pop off immediately the way they thought it would. Okay, let's move on to the so-called moldy edges. And Just to start, they are not actually moldy edges. There's nothing to do with mold at all. We are not starting any rumors here. So Acrylipics created something they're calling 3D printed pages, which I don't know. I think that's kind of misleading because there seems like they're saying the pages are 3D printed. I'm not 100% sure how this works as far as like how they physically make these, but they are something. So yeah, the spines of the books are kind of like carved out to show, you know, like a three-dimensional picture. I guess I can see why this would appeal to some book collectors who are really into like unique things, but I think it looks crazy. And looking at it that close up, the paint doesn't even look like precise or well done. Again, I have no idea on the process of how this is done, and I'm just not a fan. I feel like the more I look at it, the more I hate it. I also just gotta say, I'm sorry, this is just my opinion, but I hate this website design so much. It just feels so amateur looking. So personally, I don't think if you ever want to actually read this book, that's something you'd want. People lose their shit about deckled edges, so they're not gonna be into this. I know plenty of people purchase these books for display only, and that's totally fine. But this seems like it would just be very weird to like hold in your hands reading. Here's their edition of From Blood and Ash. And you can see this person like opening it. So you can kind of see like sideways, I guess, like how it looks on, how it looks like if you had the book open, and it looks weird. Again, to each his own. On Reddit, in the nicest way possible, this looks like it's been dropped in a swimming pool and left to dry. I'm sorry, but no. This is what I thought. When I saw it on Instagram earlier, I thought someone was showing water damage to their edges until I realized it was their company promoting the new edges. Very cool as an art piece. As someone who actually reads their special editions, sensory nightmare. I physically recoiled from this for some reason. Me too, it's actually giving me anxiety just looking at it. I just looked at it again and got hit with a disgust shiver down my spine. So dramatic. Acrylipics over here sending 15% off coupons, free shipping, spamming my email and text, printing 3D images on books, and I'm over here like, please just ship the June book box that I paid for in March. P.S. I nicely inquired on a shipping time frame for sub boxes and basically got customer service speak for it ships when it ships. Fingers crossed they don't end up as slow as Bookish. Seems like they have a lot of new stuff going on at once. Yes. The way they've launched their sub boxes is baffling to me. You'd think they'd be trying harder to create hype, but they've done no reveals and given such little information. If anything, I was so excited, and now I'm just annoyed. That's totally fair. It's a no from me. I'm not a fan. Based on the video posted to the Instagram, it looks like someone messed up and the page is warped. I'm interested to see what it looks like in person, but I'm not willing to spend money on it. I've never seen anything like this before. It's cool looking and something new. I think this is a good start to something. Unfortunately for me, they look like someone dunked the book in water. Cool in theory, but makes my brain itch and my skin crawl. This is worse than deckled edges. Nope, nope, nope. My brain itch. Like, yes, that's exactly what it does. I definitely want to know what you guys think of these. Again, no mold is involved, but I can see why people think they look kind of like they're moldy. So let's get to the big one, accusations of AI usage. And I want to reiterate, this is all alleged. Directly from their website, they have a long statement. Statement against AI. And they posted this on August 20th, 2025, which I think is kind of when a lot of people started discussing this being a suspicion they had. Acrylipics is vehemently against the use of generative AI in any part of our bookish products. We take accusations of using such shortcuts extremely seriously. We have never and will never use AI tools, features, or elements in any of our bookish artwork. The very backbone of our company is upheld by our respect for the community and the integrity of our artists. We will never jeopardize either by promoting products that aren't made with real, honest human passion. We deeply respect our industry partners, including authors, agents, publishers, and distributors, and all of our licensing contracts clearly state that we will never use AI-generated images. We thank our community for taking such a strong stance against AI images. We ask that you also keep in mind that accusations of creating and selling dishonest art is extremely harmful to our artists and the company as a whole. We pride ourselves on the real effort and creativity that goes into every step of bringing these books to life. We ask that if you have any questions about the nature of our work, please reach out to us at contact@acrylipics.com. We would be happy to clear up any confusion surrounding our creative process. As a company, our top priority is to deliver quality products that our community is as thrilled to receive and we are proud to create. Generative AI images are the antithesis of everything we stand for. Their usage is disrespectful to you, the consumer, and to all artists. Once again, we promise to never use generative AI in our works and thank our community for being such strong proponents of real human art and artists. So, their message seems pretty clear. And per one of their authors that I spoke to, it's even in their contracts. Yet, something seems strange. In their now defunct Discord group, when asked about the AI allegations, they shared this timeline from Canva. I'm not going to read every word of this, but this is what they produced to prove that their art process is legit. And I will link it in the comments if you want to take a closer look later. So this is their example of them doing Tamlin Spring Court from the ACOTAR 3D edition. So step 1, the prompt. Our drawings always begin with an initial prompt from our project supervisor who reads every book we design and handpicks blah, 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 blah. Then they rough sketching and 3D modeling. We begin our illustrations with a rough sketch. From there, we use the industry standard software Blender to create and/or pose our licensed 3D models. So, I guess just adding in the layers. The next step, we place our images of the 3D models onto the drawing file is to begin painting, sometimes yada yada, more complicated pieces. I'm not gonna read this all because I don't even know what I'm reading, but like they really, were breaking it down. And it kind of, at least according to what a few people mentioned to me, seems like this is over. It's like you're doing too much. You're not making your case because you're doing too much. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you understand what I'm saying, but like, you shouldn't need to write this whole thing to be able to prove that, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. As mentioned, not a graphic artist, any kind of visual artist. But from what I've been told, again, a lot of the digital art platforms automatically record a time lapse of your work, which would make it simple to prove it was drawn by a human. But again, I can't confirm that with 100% certainty is something that happens. And even if no AI actually is used, it still ends up looking bad on the author to have people repeatedly suspecting AI with their name attached. You'd think at that point you would step back from any thing that people were saying was AI and like look at, okay, why? This is what we need to improve. This is how we need to make sure everyone knows. I don't know. The whole way that AI is becoming so much more harder to detect is a really difficult situation for artists, and I don't really have an answer for it, but I recognize that it's really hard, but I think that it also just requires progress. We got to figure out a way to make it easier to just differentiate. I don't know. Something that is strange, though, is that according to one of their authors, despite their claim that Acrylipics gets daily updates from their artists, only one sketch was ever shared with this author I spoke to before the book started shipping. That would be another easy way to disprove the rumors. Show us some progress. So let's see some examples of what people think are AI. So this is just a bunch of images from the Court of Thorns and Roses series. And at first glance, it looks, fine. But there is something that you might notice. And that is that her right arm has a left hand on it. Not just this picture, the more you look at the pictures of their books, the more you see the typical AI signs. It's a shame not to hire real artists for that price. I know it's awful. I don't want to support AI slop. I've sent them an email asking this and radio silence. Too bad they've already shipped. If they are AI, I don't want them. I don't trust these guys. They've always been sketchy. I wouldn't put them past it to use their Instagram story just to pacify people. Besides, how do they define the use of AI art? Does the entire piece need to be AI to qualify? Because some aspects of the image look human done. Others, like the hand, look generated. Did an inexperienced artist not know how to do hands? Hands are hard, no hate. And ask an AI model, show me a hand holding a paintbrush, and just quickly use it as a reference? I have heard they pay their authors pretty badly, so if they do have in-house artists, I bet the same applies to them. And with as many pieces as they put out, they must be on a wicked crunch all the time. So for the actual cover, they covered the elbow, And so even though it kind of still looks a little bit weird, like her hand is like way too far forward, at least it isn't as blatant. And I just do want to add that a few artists in the comments of this Reddit post said that this isn't something completely unheard of for artists to mistakenly do. Basically, if they're a righty and they're using their left hand holding a paintbrush for reference, that it can kind of happen when they're not necessarily like honed in on it. It just does. But this combined with the other stuff, I don't know. So the special editions they did of A Court of Thorns and Roses series are what really brought these AI accusations into conversation recently. So this is someone who took the time to circle out all the places that it looks like it was done by AI. There are teasers for A Court of Thorns and Roses with the 3D edges that show the cover and the building layout make no sense. Weird joints, pillars changing numbers, stairs leading to nowhere, and not matching the description from the book. Thoughts? I think they've said they don't work with AI in the past, but this doesn't pass the vibe check. So, this is kind of a yikes, and even if it isn't AI, and in my opinion, it does look like AI, but nevertheless, it looks sloppy. Like, this just looks like it's not ready to be like seen by human eyes. I don't know, like this should not be printed on the cover. It looks like there's still lots of work to do. I always think it's weird they never tag artists, just mention house ones. Yeah, I barely see anyone talking about this company and AI, at least on here. It's just taking advantage of the pretty book exclusivity hype. I posted about them a week or so ago. Very weird they never tag artists. Weirdly, unless there isn't an artist, which there almost certainly wasn't here. They claim they are done by their in-house artists. Both artists have less than 5 posts on their Instagrams. Either AI or they picked an artist who has no idea how architecture works. Something about them has always felt sketchy to me. I've only bought one set from them, Letters of Enchantment, and dealing with them sucked. They first sent me an empty box too small to hold even a paperback book. It took a lot of energy to actually get the books I bought, so I'll never deal with them again. Your experience makes it sound like they are trying to jump on a trend without caring about anything but making themselves lots of money. Good to know. I'll not be placing any orders with them. I bought Caraval and a Fourth Wing book to a friend from them. My Caraval overlays were misprinted, so I asked them to resend it. When they resent the new ones, they shipped it to the address I sent Fourth Wing rather than the Caraval address. It then took almost 3 months to get Fourth Wing and an ACOTAR print when turnaround was only 4 weeks max, and they shipped it out when I asked for a refund on that order. I haven't been back after all of that. People have been leaving a lot of comments on their Instagram posts about this without any response. Hey guys, big fan, but would like if you answered the question regarding AI that several people have asked and you continue to choose to ignore. Is the cover AI generated, and if not, can you please credit the artist? Still no response. Wow. Who is the artist? It's AI. That's why I keep asking them to name the artist, because we all know there isn't one. There isn't one. In emails, they usually will put the artist or say in-house art. They didn't for this. It's 100% AI. How did Bloomsbury Publishing allow this to be licensed? And the fact that they ignore comments and DMs asking about the artist and whether it's AI is very telling. Why are we using AI for the cover art though? Changing pillar types top right of the castle is just off? Are you guys ever going to respond to customers asking who the artist is and whether or not this is AI? Anytime they actually have answered when asked about who did the art, they just say it's their in-house art team. Now, on their Instagram highlights, they have one introducing their artists. And I will note that this section was added 4 days ago as I'm filming this. In addition to this one that's titled No AI, it says, Acrylipics is against the use of generative AI and will never use it in our bookish products. None of our products feature AI images, as all of our agreements with authors and publishers whom we respect greatly specifically note in their contracts and agreements that the use of AI generative images are prohibited in making artwork for their special editions or licensed bookish products. We will never jeopardize our long-standing relationship with our partners. With the exception of a handful of products where we worked with well-known artists within this community to create special editions, our artwork is created by our in-house team of 5 talented and very passionate artists who are contractually obligated to never use AI. And we have a zero-tolerance policy on that matter. Getting to work with these artists so closely allows our dream team to work with each illustration daily, from the composition stage to the sketch stage to the color blocking stage to the final renders. Why not show that to people that are saying you're AI? Like, that's a simple solution. Our entire team is collaborative in every step of the art process. So when you purchase an Acrylipics special edition, you're not only supporting our team of artists and dreamers, but will also receive the product of our team's dedication, passion, and love for storytelling. We respect those in the community who voice their opinions on the matter. In the same vein, we ask that if you ever have any questions about our work, please reach out to us at contact@acrylipics.com. We are always happy to clear up any confusion surrounding our creative process. Except we don't actually respond to anyone who does reach out. It's really giving like the lady doth protest too much, methinks. They're just saying a lot of words. So you'd think that it would like be to the company's benefit to have their artists grow their followings, show their process. So only 2 of the 5 artists introduced on their Instagram accounts have Instagram accounts listed on those posts. And both of them kind of look fake, to be honest. And you'll notice that they both have Acrylipics in the username. We have Jewel.Acrylipics has 7 posts, 81 followers, 2 following, yeah. And Rain Acrylipics has 7 posts and 177 followers. So as you can see, yes, each of these accounts has barely any posts, not very many followers. And while these could definitely just be like separate accounts used to showcase the art solely that that's commissioned by Acrylipics, why would they do that? Wouldn't it be mutually beneficial to show off this collaboration and get some crossover of their audiences? It just kind of seems like an obvious thing to do. And here's something else. Back in 2022, she was crediting her artists and using it as a selling point. Why wouldn't she still be doing this? It says, calling all SJM fans, we've partnered with the amazing Inkfei Art to bring you her amazing ACOTAR and Throne of Glass fan art. Officially licensed, whatever. So she tags the artist right there. And, you know, maybe the artist didn't have this big of a following at the time, but they now have 34.1 thousand followers. So by crediting her and this artist also posting about the project, everyone wins. They'd both be benefiting. And look at this. A time lapse of the artist designing a cover for the Throne of Glass series. Imagine if she was willing to do this now. It would dispel so many rumors, and this wasn't the only one. This is the same one, Inkfei Art, and you can see they did multiple updates showing how the artist developed and then the different layers added on, and it's really cool. Why wouldn't they do something like this again? If you're being accused of AI all over the place, wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't you be doing everything you could to make sure that rumor was just stopped in its tracks? Here's another example from 2022. New artist alert. I'm beyond excited to announce our newest collaboration with Gab's Gab X. Her stunning art for Court of Thorns and Roses, Throne of Glass, and Crescent City is now live on my website. And you can see this very nice little art shelf thing. So, in the previously mentioned Discord server that is no more, someone realized that the owner's account was also a member of the Midjourney server, which, if you aren't aware, is an AI generator. So I only have the top of this question answered here, but like what my like sneaky millennial eyes can figure out says, if you're against generative AI, why are you a member of the Midjourney Discord server? This server is an AI generation tool designed for art and book communities. No accusation here, just wondering what your stance is on this. And they respond, hi Ash, thank you for being transparent always and for asking this as well. I joined Midjourney long ago when it first circulated because I really didn't understand what AI was at the time or what Midjourney was. But this was before we entered into the bookish world, and I was quickly educated on what AI is and how people use it to work up finished pieces, and also how it literally is stealing hard work from talented artists. I do not support the use of AI, have no idea how to even use servers like Midjourney, and as a huge novice when it comes to Discord, I'll have my team help me get out of that server as I didn't realize I was still in it. I can absolutely relate to being inept at Discord, and all of my Patreon members can attest to that. And I'm not saying that that isn't exactly what happened, but there are a few things to note. I'm glad that her entering into the book world helped her learn what AI is and the fact that it is theft. But even before she did anything to do with like physical books, she was in the art world. She was printing designs on acrylic, which you'd think would make her aware of AI and the harm that it causes. This is something that she, made before she's joined this server because it was January 14th, 2022. And yeah, by January 2022, she had officially been licensed to make designs from Sarah J. Maas books. The Midjourney Discord server didn't even launch until March of 2022, and it didn't go into open beta until July 2022. And she actually did enter the book world prior to the open beta, only about a month after the Discord launched. Her first special edition was open for pre-order on April 23rd, 2022. So the timeline doesn't make sense if she's saying that she was brand new when she joined, so she didn't know what it was, because she was already doing this stuff when it came to, be something people could use. So, what does all of this prove? Nothing. But it adds to the suspicion, and it would be pretty easy to disprove AI use if they wanted to. Once again, all of this is alleged and just my opinions based on the information I've presented to you. Please draw your own conclusions, and if there is an update to any of this, I will make sure that I pass that all along to you. Today's indie author spotlight is Olivia Danson. She is an indie author who will be self-publishing her debut YA gothic horror fantasy novel, The Darkest Glass, this October. It's been a labor of love. She's been writing on and off again for about 15 years now, and super excited to see it out in the world soon. She's a huge proponent for indies and hopes to use what she learns in the process to help out other indie/self-pub and hybrid authors who are looking to take writing on as a full-time business. As mentioned, her debut is a young adult gothic horror fantasy set against a Victorian-inspired world filled with magic, monsters, and mayhem. It centers 4 teens, a human, a vampire, a werewolf, and a witch, whose paths cross when a soul-snatching monster from legend foretold to bring about the end of the world may not be just a fable after all. Political intrigue, ancient magics, and buried horrors lurk within a kingdom on the brink of war. This will be the first novel in an epic horror series. Down in the description, I will link Olivia's social media as well as where you can purchase her book if it sounds like something you'd enjoy. Indie authors are a vital part of the bookish community, so try to support them however you can, even if that's just a follow on social media. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would. I do have a Patreon if you have any interest in supporting me over there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!